Hey dog, do you want to build a pedal board? Yeah.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
So, once again, excuse me for breathing like a pedo cockroach, but got a lot of stairs in this abode. So, what we are doing today, I'm going to strip all of that off there and put it on this board. That's the plan anyway. So, it's going to require some type of screwdriverage. Oh, my studio is such a mess. Thank God that the beautiful guys over at Temple Audio have given me this. So yeah, that is going. All that shite is going over here. I don't think I'm going to time lapse it because it's just going to be a bit messy. Right, so what I'm going to do, get all this off here, and then I'll show you kind of bits and bats as we go. First things first, getting this shit off there. See what happens. ToneX off, that was easy. Right, so I've got this little plate. That's off. In ears under there, and then I've got the wire. That can come off relatively easily, I hope. Out. If that power supply plugged in, Molly wire, gone. Little G70. Strength of the bear, right, that's gone. Awesome. Okay, so that's the board pretty much stripped. And oh my god, just the board alone is still. Oh, she's a chunk. She's a chunky girl. I'm gonna save weight just in that alone, right? Strip the power supplies, get all my cables out, and start the rebuild. When you're trying to build a pedal board and you have a needy dog, how needy are you? It's your bum. Jesus Christ. Right, so we're all off. It's an absolute nightmare. Let's make sense of this. So my first conundrum has appeared. If I want to use my Morley wire, I can't have the ToneX in its proper angle, because what happens is this. I could edge this off the board a little bit, and that kind of doesn't solve the problem, but it means I can kind of bring all of my shit this way. Not ideal, as you can see with the Helix, it will go straight down. I'm using these little fellas. So I'm a good nubbin's worth. So that would need to be realistically about there to make it work. And I'm right up against that wire, and that wire is a big old chunk off the board. Now, is that a problem? I don't know. The other thing I could do is I could replace the Morley wire with this little Dunlop guy, and he would live quite happily there, and she could live there, and we're a little bit neater. This would maybe have to move over a little bit just for the inputs and outputs, but that one would work perfectly. Decisions. Good thing about it is, because we have quick release plates, I'm not set in stone. I can have a little play in a sec. So let's do that. We'll have a little play, see what happens. So I've routed a power supply in now. Everything's kind of cabled right, and I'm just starting to put in my custom length patch cables, which is the Desario ones. Very, very cool because they're tiny and they'll fit lovely and tight. So for example, there is the Guitarian, comes right in, and then that guy will pop out. Super neat. Right, so a few more. So now I've got to go from expression pedal into here, effects send and return, into effects send and return, and that's about it, I think. So let's crack on with that. So also, you've got to have that. It's just ridiculous. It's like driving around in a Corsa, but with like sat nav and 20s. Yeah, that's the coolest, or quite possibly the campus board I've ever seen. But I dig. Oh well, focus in. Right, so that's the LED strip. And I'll just show you the rest of it now. One sec. So as with everything, it can't just be that easy. So the board's gone together flawlessly. However, to get the plate off, what you have to do is you have to take these screws off, these little handle screws. One of them wasn't coming off, so I've had to Dremel a flathead into it and cut it off. Now luckily enough, you do get an additional kit and you do get some new screws, so that's not really a problem. I'm not going to over tighten it when I put it back on, so just be careful of that. If you're taking these boards off, they might be a little tight. See how they feel. Right guys, back to the build. So now I've popped the end plate off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to Dremel out this little section here, and then I can run the IEC cables through that little nugget, which has worked out brilliantly for this board. While this is off, yeah, little Dremel incident. While this is off, I'm going to put the IEC block in, the mini thing, and then this would be the plate that I take out anyway when I put some XLR routing in there. So I'm not really bothered with that. It's had a bit of an incident with the Dremel. Cool. So let's hope all these screws aren't as tight as those that last one. Jesus Christ, on a bike. So as you can see, I've cut out a little bit just into this, just a little channel into this area, and I've just covered it in some soft Velcro. I could have Dremeled it all round and shit, but nah. That's just to kind of not snag any cables or anything, so it's all nice and neat. Cool. So now all my routing into the board is done. I could take the other end out as well, just in case, but I know what this board's going to be, so I know where it's going to be in the future. I only need one in, and that's where my power supply is anyway. And the IEC mod is just in. And it's super neat, and it was super easy. I think it'd be a bit of a pain in the tits if you were doing it while it was in situ on the board, but taking it off, dead easy. How good's that? Right, onwards. And here she is, the finished board. Still a little bit heavy like, but a lot lighter than she was. So, Helix, ToneX, and a beautiful red light in there as well, so it all lights up lovely. So that is it. So as you can see by the video, everything is super neat. So all the cabling, which is the Diodario cable, this is the Diodario solderless, all in there. I'm using the Rockboard MIDI to control the ToneX. Yeah, so all these cables are all super flush. I went with a right-angled XLR, a right-angled IEC for the Helix, which is brilliant. So that works out really, really well. And then the ToneX, which is powered, currently it's powered by the Legato. I'll show you the back end now, but that's got the MIDI in. It's running into the effects return of the Helix, so that's just in a separate thing. So what that allows me to do, and this is the brilliant nature of this hybrid rig, is that I've now got 8 snapshots with 8 different amps, which you can't do. You couldn't even do that on a Quad Cortex. It's just too much DSP. So my clean channel could be a Fender, my push could be a Dumble, my low gain could be a Marshall, then I could go into some kind of standard classic old school 80s rock stuff with a Soldano. I could kick it up to high gain with a 5150 or a Mesa triple rectifier, or I could have 8 instances of my Laney rigs. So I could have my GH30 as my clean, or an Lionheart, sorry. Then I could have an Ironheart for my crunch. I can have an Ironheart for my high gain. So that's how the board looks from the front and how it functions. I've also gone for the Dunlop Volume X instead of a wah pedal. So I'm using the inbuilt Helix wah now, just to save me a little bit of battery or a little bit of power, and also a little bit of space on the board, so it fits perfectly now. So let's flip this bad boy over and I'll show you what it looks like from the back side. I'm sure you're dead interested in it. But look, I'm not being funny, look how OCD that is. That is very, very OCD. As my dog barks in the background for no apparent reason. Right, let's flip this board over. So what we have here is the underside of the board. So I have my in-ear, which is my Sennheiser system. Sennheiser XSW at the minute, but that's going to be changed to a G4. So I can turn that on and off. I've got the power supply, which is powering this, which is weird because mate, honestly, you think to yourself, we need to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on power supplies. You do not. This is a Legato. I think it's 60 quid retail. It's powering everything. It's powering the wireless because it's got a 12 volt, 18 volt, 9 watt switchable, 2 outputs at 500 milliamp. It's got 3 900 500 milliamp outputs, which are powering everything else. It's ridiculous. Really, really good. Then I've got this bad boy, which is USB, charging this guy. So if I have any issue of anything cutting out or any power or whatever, I've got a power bank that I can just turn on and off. That runs anything I needed to. Currently it'll run the ToneX if I get any type of noise or hits or interference from anywhere else. I'll put that in the loop and see if I can negate that noise. Then as you can see, the cabling is really neatly routed through all of these things. Everything's hidden away and tucked away. LED strip, which you can change the colour of via a remote that I've got on the top of the board. So I can change the colours of that whenever I want. Even though currently it doesn't seem to want to work. I don't know why, that's because I'm not pressing the right buttons. So there you go, I can go blue, purple. You get all these great colours. Red obviously is the way. And I'll do like a little bit of purple. I think I'll leave it there for the time being. So that is currently velcroed to the front of my Helix. Right, and that's how that looks. Absolutely blinding. So very, very cool, very, very neat. And everything is under there as well. Sweet job, absolute sweet job. What a great board. Power supply comes in via the module here, and I've currently got an XLR on order. The XLR is going to go in here, and they're going to feed into the back of the wireless, which will then give me the ability to not have to plug the wireless in underneath the board. Back of the board, as I showed you before, is extremely neat. All the cabling goes straight down pretty much into the board. This one was a little bit, basically I didn't build the cable correctly, so it was I had to rebuild another cable, so that will eventually get fed through properly. And then this is that additional power supply that can run to all three additional units if ever I need that battery power supply, if there's any noise or hum or anything. And that's it, everything's groovy. It required a little bit of additional power routage, so as we were looking at earlier, the cable comes in here, coils around a bit, then it converts to a right-handed XLR to keep everything nice and flat, and then it converts into just a standard plug, which is here, and then that plug powers the Legato. Legato are definitely the best power supply for this board, which is weird considering I own a lot of really expensive power conditioners. And then this guy feeds this guy just in case I ever need him for any additional emergencies, and then everything routed, super neat, awesome. So that's it, guys, and that is my new pedal rig for the time being, and I'll do a demo of this hybrid rig and why it's so important coming soon. So there we have it, there is my pedal board rig. So many options now. It's the same rig it's always been, but everything now, because I can put stuff underneath because of the Temple Audio design, because everything's quick release, because the board is a little bit shorter now, everything just fits a little bit better. Love the LEDs, love the Legato power station. The power board has been an absolute godsend because it can power that 12 volt 500 milliamp Sennheiser, which nothing else could do. I think the Fender stuff maybe, but that's 200 quid. They're 60 quid, ridiculous. I'll be doing a review of that coming soon as well. Yeah, absolutely ludicrous, no noise, worry free, and as many preamps as I can muster really, because everything's being farmed out to the ToneX. So guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Please come back for the next one. I'm going to be looking at the functionality of this hybrid rig. I do use things quite differently, so what I'm running is I'm running stereo heads with two 412 cabinets, and I'm running a full digital rig with ToneX modeling. So it's the ultimate hybrid rig. So we're going to be doing an in-depth of that as well. So yeah, so stay tuned and check us out. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy my new board, as I know I'm going to be enjoying it a lot more. So I'll see you soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye.